Is it recording? Okay. Share. All right. Ma'am, this is Cadet Christian Anderson and Cadet Ramil Cook's final project. For our project, we are going to be looking at baseball stats. We envisioned a scenario where we're basically GMs for the Miami Marlins. And what we wanted to do is look for 3 players that we could get in free agency. What we wanted to do is answer these 3 questions to basically figure out which players we wanted to get. The first question we wanted to answer was which players got on base the most. The second question is which players got the most home runs and which pitchers got the most strikeouts. So using those questions, we were going to try to determine which players would best fit our team and which players we wanted to get for free agency. So first off, we did get our data from MLB websites that provided pitching and batting data. So for the first part of our project, we wanted to answer which players got on base the most. So looking here, we use this code right here to basically answer that question. We set this new data set equal to the baseball data here, and we wanted to select hits, on base percentage, batting average, and the player name. We also wanted to filter for the players that had more than 150 hits. Basically, that's above average for hits, so that would be a pretty good player. And these are the results that we came up with. We had Christian Yelich at the top, who had an on-base percentage of .429 and had 161 hits as well, which is pretty good. We decided to show this plot here to graphically represent that data. As you can see, we have highlighted the players that we think are at the top of this list right here. You can see Christian Yelich here is at the top. So for the second part, we wanted to look at who got the most home runs, basically. So we basically did the same thing. We selected hits, home run, batting average, and the player. We again filtered out for players who had more than 150 hits, but this time we wanted to arrange our data so that the people with the most home runs showed up first. We also filtered out for players that had more than 35 home runs. So these are the results that we have here. You see Pete Alonso at the top with 53 home runs total. We again graphically depicted that data here, and we highlighted which players had the most home runs and players that we should target. And next, my partner is going to talk about the pitchers that we want to go after.
Okay, so here we're just going to walk through some key things to note with pitchers that include strikeouts and being able to keep people on base. So right here in the first row and column of players, you can see there are pitchers with the most strikeouts and the lowest earned run average. And these are very important in indicating a good pitcher. Also depicted is the amount of walks that the pitcher gave up during the season. The data that was filtered out would show players that had less than 100 walks and more than 225 strikeouts. Um, and you can see that only 16 players are able to do that. Next, with this graphic here, we depicted the best pitchers and the pitchers that we think would fit our team the best, which are highlighted in the burnt orange color. As we move forward, we'll get into the apps that allow our user to interact with the data, and the players and be able to pick the best ones. So on the left, the player axis, you'll be able to select a player, and on the y-axis, it'll be able to show the chosen. Yes, like Christian's showing right now, you can either pick strikeouts, ERA, player, different measurables and metrics, and you're able to see the results in where for that player where they end up on the graph. For the second app, it's focused on the hitters. Again, with the players being on the y-axis over there, and you're able to pick home runs or their batting average, all those metrics that are more catered to a at batter. As we scroll down again, we can look more at this app, and it targets the on base players. And once again, on the y-axis, you have the list of players and their resulting on base percentage on the chart. So, using these three apps, we were able to come to a conclusion on who we would recommend and who we would feel best fit our team, the Marlins. And we were left with Kristen Yelch, Pete Alonso, and Garrett Cole. And from here, we were able to see that Yelich has the ability to get on base a lot while keeping a very high batting average. Alonso had the most home runs last season, and putting him on our team would be a tremendous boost. And for our third option, we have potentially one of the better pitchers in the league, and because he was able to get the most strikeouts, keeping a very low ERA, and there wasn't many walks in his statistics either. So we'll conclude with those three guys being our recommendation. Now Christian will follow up with the package used to conduct this analysis.
Yeah, so the new package that we decided to use for this project, which ended up being really useful for many of our plots, was this package called GG Highlight. So if I scroll back up to this plot right here, right, you can see here I use the GG highlight function here. And basically what that does is it allows us to highlight which players or which values we want the user to see by highlighting it. So as you can see here, the ones that we want the user to see is the ones in red, as opposed to the other ones are in gray. So it basically just highlights which data we want the uh, the user or the reader to see. Ma'am, this concludes our brief. Thank you very much.